knowing as we did that this was a hugely controversial decision, that large sections of the British public had been totally opposed, that huge sections of the Parliamentary Labour Party had been opposed, to be told that it's perfectly possible that actually you might now be facing a situation, as if you haven't got enough problems on the Prime Minister's plate, a situation where you're going to have to accept that there are no WMD there. That was a very, very big issue and a very difficult situation. I was, I mean, again, I can only speak for myself. April 28, John Scarlett warned there may be no find of WMD. That I was never in doubt, based upon what I saw, what I heard, and the discussions that I was involved in, and so it was a considerable. Obviously, as the invasion took place, and that was the focus, and then there was I think as other witnesses far better qualified than I have said to you, that perhaps the outcome came more quickly than had been anticipated or planned for, but certainly I fully expected and envisaged, and I think the Prime Minister did, that within reasonably short time frame, the soldiers, the military and the intelligence would be coming on saying, well, here's this and here's that and here's the other, and apart from a couple of mobile labs, there wasn't much to report. The dossier was seen to be necessary because the Prime Minister had been growing more and more concerned, in part because of the intelligence that he was seeing over a period of time. I mentioned a moment ago what the JIC call this step change. And I think post-September 11th, he was becoming more concerned. And in a sense, even with senior politicians, he was kind of having to have the argument, look, you know, if you saw what I saw, you wouldn't be kind of asking me all these questions. And of course, what he saw was material that really only he and a number of other senior ministers were able to see. The controversy that subsequently followed about the dossier was as intense as it was, because I think actually in an exercise in openness and much more open government and trying to share with the public information that is really quite sensitive, but which he's trying to share with the public so that they can be informed about all the factors going into the decision-making process.
This wasn't the first time the issue of a dossier had come up.
No.
So there'd been two papers prepared.
Apologies.
Not Mr. Blair.
I won't check. I don't know if he's watching. I think it's more like it's with the Burnley chairman, just we're trying to get a new manager. But yeah, I think the intelligence community, if you like, to use that phrase, and certainly the people in positions of leadership that I got to know, I think understood that some of these conflict situations, actually the way that the media will follow them, report them, present them to the public, can actually have an impact upon what they have to do on the ground, militarily and the intelligence community as well.
You have said that you basically were there to do whatever the Prime Minister asked you to do. Would that be accurate?
Look, if he asked me to jump off a building, I wouldn't have done it. If he asked me to do
serious?
No, if he asked me to do anything that I thought to be silly or improper, I wouldn't do it. But he never did. And what's more, I think that it's really important to set a context for this in terms of when I talked earlier about the changing nature of the media. It has had a significant impact upon policy making, upon government institutions. And I guess my job was to try to advise him and also other ministers and colleagues in government through some of the tricky currents that threw up. But, yeah.